The Secrets of TV is brought to you by the StarQuest Production Network and is made possible by our many generous patrons. If you'd like to support the podcast, please visit GiveStarQuest.com. You're listening to The Secrets of Television. Hi, I'm Dom Bettinelli, and on The Secrets of Television, we take a closer look at the stories behind the stories, exploring the themes, characters, and hidden meaning in the shows everyone's watching and the classics worth remembering. And this time we're discussing Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, Season 2, Episode 3, Secrets. Joining me today are Jeff Haecker. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Dom.
And Patrick Mason. Hey, Patrick.
Howdy, Dom.
And folks, be sure to follow The Secrets of Television in Apple Podcasts, or at Spotify, TuneIn, your favorite podcast app, or at the StarQuest YouTube channel at youtube.com/StarQuestMedia, where, as always, you should like, comment, subscribe, click the bell to get notifications, and do any other funny dances that get them to show you the episodes as you wish. Call on the scarabs. They'll help you out.
Yes.
So let's give you a recap of what happens in Secrets. The episode starts in 1957, where Keiko and Lee are on the run in Chile after barely escaping from Titan X and the suspicious villagers who want the creature kept secret. Lee removes the film from Keiko's camera to mislead the locals, and he leaves the camera as a bait, I guess. And that's not the right word,
Decoy.
but whatever it is. Thank you. Decoy. And they take shelter in an abandoned house where he tends to her injured arm. A long simmering tension finally breaks as Keiko and Lee give in to their feelings and commit adultery.
Accurate.
Yes, the audio descriptions were much less judgmental.
Yeah.
The following morning, Bill arrives by boat, unbeknownst to him, what happened, and is reunited with Keiko, unaware of what happened between his wife and his friend Lee the night before. In the present day, Outpost 18 has docked in Tokyo, where Director Barris has handed operational control of the facility to Jason Trissip of Apex Cybernetics, citing dissatisfaction with Tim's leadership. Cate, racked with guilt over releasing Titan X, decides to leave Monarch and returns to San Francisco to try to put the trauma behind her. Tim covertly helps Keiko, Lee, Hiroshi, and Kentaro slip out of the outpost into Tokyo, where Hiroshi reveals a backup prototype of the Suzuki device that could lure Titan X away from populated areas. While retrieving diagrams from Hiroshi's office, Keiko discovers photographs revealing that her son secretly maintained two separate families, which Lee won't explain. Hiroshi does admit to Keiko that he loved two women at the same time. While Tim goes and recruits May to go undercover inside Apex and uncover what that corporation's really after. Apex agents then steal Hiroshi's prototype from his workshop, and we close with a flashback to 1962, where Bill discovers the letter that Keiko wrote to Lee, confessing all of her feelings and learning the secret she had kept from him for years. The end. So, thoughts? Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, this one was okay. I mean, I liked it, but they had to do it. They had to do the thing where you take a great relationship of Billy and Keiko and a great, friendship of Lee and Keiko, and you have to mess it up. You can't just leave Keiko and Shaw as like best friends. Maybe there's romantic tension, but they just never discuss it. No, they had to go full on, like you said, commit adultery. And so I don't like it for that, because they could have done it in different ways. They didn't have to do it this way, but they did. That's what they chose to do. So that kind of leaves a stain on the episode a little bit. It was kind of a little bit of a coming down from the action. There was a little bit of the action at the beginning, but for the most part, it was kind of setting up the what's next, what's going to be the next thing we have to do to progress the story. So it was definitely a slower episode, but yeah, overall it was decent.
How about you, Patrick?
I hated and loved it.
I see. So take a stand. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. I really loved the bringing the Shadows over Innsmouth storyline to its inevitable conclusion with the fish monster villagers trying to track down the person who wasn't supposed to be there. Although in this version, it's a bunch of crazed fish worshipping monster or people with tattoos and bloodstains. But I always enjoy homages to the Lovecraftian stuff, and this was the last 3 episodes were just a very solid homage to Shadows over Innsmouth, and done fairly well. And I did not like any of the romantic stuff in this episode. There was more than one set piece, and they were both kind of unnecessary or just meh. And then Kate's is really the real problem, because Kate's storyline, like if I just erase my memory of episode 1 and just go with, she did some actions and that led to the release of Monster X, and her actions at the time made some amount of sense, then this storyline really is one of the better ones we've seen so far this season. Like her coming to grips with the fact that she has released a monster and that it's quite possibly going to cause another G-Day, and she was there for the first one and she knows what that she has the lived reality of being through the first one, of what that means to people and to her, and kind of coming to grips with that. The problem I have is I did watch the first episode, it turns out, and her actions just were so railroaded that it took away from the impact that her journey in this episode was supposed to have.
Railroaded by the writing, you mean? Like
correct.
She was just sort of maneuvered into. She was the one who happened to press the button.
Yeah, she did it because the story had to happen.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm in I'm mostly agreement with you guys. Like the only monster we get is at the very beginning, which is the very end of the last episode, basically. We have to have that little bit of continuation of monster stuff because it's a monster show, and then the rest of it is all this other stuff, and sort of the tropes of villagers with pitchforks and torches in the night. It's a little on the nose, but it's that's fine. But yeah, there was the trope of the whole we're yelling at each other and suddenly we're in each other's arms. It's like, what? That's that doesn't make sense. It just seemed contrived, and so I didn't really like that part. And something about Kate's story, and we can get more into this, just her behavior didn't make sense to me in some aspects. I mean, I get she's traumatized, but why is she doing what she's doing? Some of that was a little I was a little mystified. Maybe you guys have a better idea than I do on that one, and we could talk about it. But let's start with, again, like we usually do, we'll do 2017 and 1957 separately. And 62.
Yeah. Say we have a third timeline this week.
Very brief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because why not? So Kate, as we mentioned, Kate leaves the boat, wants to go back to San Francisco. She's afraid of what people are going to say about her when they find out that she's the one who let a new Titan out into the world. There's an interesting moment between her and May where she kind of says, what does she say? It's like, nobody wants me around here. And May kind of tells her, hey, don't speak for me. I'm not the one who's saying that you need to go. And there's this interesting kind of character moment where she's kind of saying to Kate, like, you're making this whole thing in your head. Like, you've built up this whole thing in your head about how people are going to feel about you. You're not the only one. Like, there's a little bit of you're getting a little big for your britches. You're not the only one involved in all this. We all went to that island. We were all trying to get Shaw back. You just happened to be the one to press the button. And I thought that was an interesting moment coming from May, nonetheless. But I don't know what you guys thought of that.
Yeah, I think so. I think to speak on the stuff with Kate, like there, as we'll come to learn later in the season, there is somewhat of a reason that she's kind of so, as we said, like monomaniacal about the whole thing. that
I guess,
you know, well, we won't spoil yet, but there is somewhat of a reason. And so, yeah, I think it's, as I rewatch, I'll have to see if they are writing it well and they're kind of building it up, or if it's that they ham-fisted it in the first episode and now they've got to like kind of write to that instead of versus building up slowly to what they really want to do. So I'll be curious to see, you know, I'll be interested to see how I feel on rewatch. But yeah, May has done, you know, everyone's done things that they regret in you know, in real life and in the show. Like all these characters have been a part of the Monarch stuff and what's going on, and that has led to, you know, some things happening. Like everyone's got some part of it. Like Hiroshi and Kentaro, when they were helping Monarch in the timeline, waiting for Cate and Shaw and everyone was trapped. You know, they were part of what led to what happened with Kong and, you know, killing Verdugo and all that. So like everyone's has a fault here, and I think that's what May is trying to. I think part of it is that what she's trying to communicate to Cate too is, and yeah, then they're all kind of like they're kind of trauma bonded now, and maybe Kate's kind of she's the character that's doesn't want the trauma bond and wants to go off on her own and doesn't, you know, recognize that it's the friends we made along the way that were the real you know, legacy of monsters.
I mean, sorry.
So
yeah,
it's the monsters we met along the way.
Yeah.
That's right. Friendship is magic. Either way, you know, it's weird seeing May in this spot because she was the primary driving force through the most of the first season, right? The finding her father piece, and then
Cate was.
Sorry, I said May, didn't I? Yeah, and then Cate. Sorry, Cate was the primary driving force, and kind of May was along for the ride, and so was eventually Kentaro, although he had sort of similar motives to Cate. And you know, we come out of season 1, you know, in this weird space where they've gotten out of Access Monday, and now she is reunited with her dad. And it's sort of one of those things where it's like you have a goal and then you complete that goal and then you're like, well, what do I do now? And and for Cate, that is what I do now is sit with the fact that I unleashed another Titan. And all of the trauma that brings back up. And it's interesting to me that she decides to go back to San Francisco and not even call her mom.
I've been gone for 2 years, but I'm back.
Yeah. Hey, Mom. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I would pull because, you know, I just forget to call that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's interesting to me that she does go back to San Francisco because it kind of feels like she would. It's in my mind, it looks like she was trying to escape. But she goes back home, which is the place that's a direct reminder of the thing she's really running from.
Right. Small tangent. It really bugs me how everybody moves around the world magically, instantaneously. Like, hey, we're at Skull Island. Now we're in Tokyo. And next we're going to be in San Francisco. Like, and then May transports to Pensacola, Florida, instantaweously. And they make a mistake here in continuity because she goes from Tokyo to Pensacola, and then we're in the midst of Hiroshi and Kentaro and Lee and Keiko. It's still the same night, you know, going around getting their components for the Suzuki device, and it's like, what? Like it didn't make sense to me.
Was she in Pensacola?
Yes. Okay. It was very clearly like daytime in Pensacola after she talked with Tim, which was after they like Lee and Keiko and Hiroshi and Kentaro go to Hiroshi's workshop. Then May and Tim talk. Then we have Cate going back to San Francisco. Then May is in Pensacola, and now we go back to Hiroshi and Kentaro walking down the street in Shibuya, you know, with the stuff that they picked up, and they're still having this conversation. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's fine if you want, if the idea is we're jumping around in time, but that's not how you normally do it. It just seemed like a weird progression.
Yeah.
But that's the little thing that bugs me.
See,
but
I never got the impression she was in Pensacola. I knew they were sending the eyeball there because they have to make the next film happen. Because that's how the next one starts.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize she had gone there. I honestly,
yeah, that's where she went to meet Brenda.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and because they dropped the thing on the screen, Pensacola, Florida, and they showed the beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm they got to be traveling on those red lines they got from Indiana Jones. Must be.
That's right. Those things move fast. So in any case, that's just my little rant over. So the Apex Cybernetics comes in. We have this guy takes over. Tim thinks he's doing an upgrade, and no, he's doing a replacement of him. This is not fishy at all. And when you look at it, Barris, who's the director of Monarch, he's the one who basically screws up here. He gives Apex free reign. He takes Tim out of the equation. He wants to hand over Keiko and Shaw to Apex, for what, asset management, whatever that means.
Stick you in a nursing
Barris
home.
is the one who's really screwing things up. Well, what's that?
Stick you in a nursing home and drug you up, or worse.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, basically.
Apex would probably be worse.
Yeah, I never understood that as the thing. Like, okay, if I have a time traveling agent in my department, I would not stick him in a home somewhere and drug him up. I would, make use of him. But
right,
whatever. I'm not running the government.
Right. So yeah, so Tim is the one who gets the idea for May to go undercover at Apex. So, which is interesting. So, as a reminder, May is the one who left Apex when she didn't like the way they were going to use her special code that could do magic things, the magic computer code.
Yeah.
But now she's kind of going back.
You know how she got to Pensacola? Sorry, I just realized. I apologize.
No, go ahead.
She used the underground tunnel that we saw in the next movie.
Oh,
yes, through Axis Mundi.
Yeah, it's a maglev system that Apex has that goes directly. The podcast guy ends up getting stuck in a crate and ends up in Tokyo, if I remember right.
I don't remember that. To see that movie again.
Yeah.
Oh man. So Keiko is not Keiko. Cate ends up back in San Francisco. We mentioned. And one of the things that was interesting is like the demolished buildings. This is 2017. Godzilla G-Day was 2014. So it's been 3 years. That's a lot of growth of plants on those buildings in the meantime. It was kind of like, I know they're trying to convey this has all been destroyed. This is all messed up. And, so you want to be able to see that from a distance.
That actually comes out of King of Monsters, the movie. That one of the things the Titans bring with them is this radioactive super growth.
Oh, yeah.
Seeding. So wherever they go, you have sudden rapid growth of whatever plants or stuff is around the area. So that's what they're hinting at is that when Godzilla and the Muto fought in San Francisco, they seeded it.
Okay.
Well,
I have to rewatch that.
Yeah, well, that makes sense too why the fish follow Titan X, because it brings, super fish
growth.
food or whatever.
Yep.
Nitrogen.
Yeah. Nitrogen.
I was reading about the scarabs, by the way, online, just the theories and stuff. And I think the general consensus is that they're like drones, like it's like a hive sort of situation where Titan X is the queen and they are the drones, and they're sort of an extension of her. They work sort of symbiotically.
Yeah. And you can see that, like, when the drone, in the very beginning of the episode, the drone, like, Titan X starts out with its tendril, or I don't even want to call it, antenna, red.
Yeah.
And then when the drones finally make it back to her, like, she switches over to blue.
Yes.
And she calms down and swims off. And it's sort of like, oh, she's got all of her worker bees back with her. She's happy now.
Blue is happy. Red is angry.
Yes.
Putting in my angry eyes now.
Yeah. It's the opposite with Godzilla. Blue is angry.
It's very confusing. Don't get those mixed up. Oh, he's happy. Ah! So Keiko and Shaw are, at Hiroshi's office looking for his plans to build Suzuki device. And she starts asking questions about Hiroshi's life. And it's interesting how Shaw won't tell her anything. Like, oh, was he a widower? Is he divorced? That's for him to tell you.
Yeah.
You should have a talk with him. It's Hiroshi's story to tell, I think he says. And she says, and she kind of says, we all have secrets, which at that point, we don't really understand what it means. Now, looking back, well, this is the secrets that she and Shaw share at this point, which for her wasn't that long ago, because didn't she go missing in like 57?
Yeah, within a couple of years, like 50. It might be like 59. I can't remember when.
Right,
when it was in like Kazakhstan or wherever it was.
Yeah, it was pretty recent for her. And it's interesting how when they get back together with Hiroshi and Kentaro, Lee kind of says we should split up. Kentaro, you come with me. We'll scout ahead. He maneuvers it so they have to have the conversation, and they have a very uncomfortable conversation in general. I mean, like here and then later, where Hiroshi says, he finally admits, I gave into what my heart wanted. I don't expect you to understand. And she understands pretty well, actually.
All too well.
All too well. Yes. And then later on, he's going to talk about how he resents Monarch because Keiko and Billy both thought Monarch was more important than he was. And when Billy left him in 1962 and basically abandoned him, and he was sent back to Japan, right? Is that what happened? He was raised in Japan from 11.
He went back to his grandparents.
Right.
So
right.
Keiko's
That's why he has an accent
yeah.
now and didn't when he was 11.
Yeah,
I guess. But it's interesting that he resents Monarch, but he went to work for it too. Kind of a interesting dichotomy.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the kid, like Hiroshi and Kentaro, Cate and Kentaro have been drawn into it. And I think it's one of those things that's like, if you have the opportunity to study and deal with monsters, like it's, how can you say no to that? As it's crazy as it's going to make your life. Like probably very few people would choose to just walk away from that and have just ignore it for the rest of their life. Like they would probably be, and Cate tries in this episode, she tries to kind of run away from it, but she's, as we'll see, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say, like, she's not going to stay gone from this kind of calling.
What?
She has that Tony Montana moment.
Yeah.
Or no, was it the Godfather?
Yeah.
Just when I was out, they pulled me back in. So Cate goes back to San Francisco, and her mom kind of encourages her to go hang out with her friends. And she gets to this restaurant where they're all waiting for her, and she ghosts them and decides to go to a club and calls an ex-girlfriend and all this other stuff. And there's this really, she gets hammered, and there's this moment where they all get the Titan alert on their phones, and everything shuts down. And she's like, "Hey, keep partying. What's the big deal? I deal with monsters all the time. Why shouldn't we keep partying?" So it's like a very, she's acting very strangely, and her friend's like, "Yeah, I'm out of here because you're acting weird." And that's when she kind of goes off into the forbidden zone of San Francisco, and kind of collapses. She has a sort of traumatic moment as she sees the Golden Gate Bridge where she first encountered Godzilla. Not last, but first.
Yeah, I mean, it's classic. Like, instead of dealing and confronting trauma, she's gonna try to drown it in alcohol or what, or other things. And but that doesn't do any, like, that may hide it for a little bit, but it's not gonna make it go away. So, and that's when she very quickly moved from that to, like, I don't know if it's the stages of acceptance or whatever it is, but she quickly moves to the next stage, which is kind of actually confronting it a little bit and, like, realizing that this really traumatic thing happened to her, and has happened to her multiple times because, you know, she was there for G-Day. And now she's gone through all this other stuff with Monarch since. So,
little scarabs attacking her in the hallway of a ship.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much about where we leave 2017. So let's go to 1957. Back in time. So, after picking themselves up from the rubble of the little cottage or hut, whatever that they were in when Titanx knocked it down on top of them, Keiko and Lee are then surrounded by the villagers who are menacing them, as villagers will do. And there's this whole thing where they demand the camera. Keiko won't give it up. Lee's like, give him the camera. and she says, do you think they'll let us go if we give them the camera? Probably not. And then there's the improbable escape. like they're surrounded by like 60 people, and somehow Lee like bashes one guy, kicks another, and then boom, we're out. We're off, and we escape. I just thought it was, I mean, they have to escape, of course, but it was kind of amusing. And so they ditch her camera as a decoy and hide behind some rocks because, you know, great hiding spot. And then the woman from the village, who I don't ever remember her name, but the woman from the village, she sees them, but doesn't give them up, which I think is interesting because this woman has kind of gone back and forth as a ally and an enemy. And I'm kind of curious about her motivation. Like, why wouldn't she have given them up? Is it, do you think it's because she really doesn't like what her village does to people?
Well, I don't think her village does this to people on a regular basis because people don't go there. I think it's, so it's probably been a minute since anyone, anyone else
had to be sacrificed.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were probably surprised. They're like, oh, we figured the monster would eat them.
Yeah.
What do we do now? I think that's why they were able to make an escape. They're like, oh, they're running. Oh, no. Dang,
you're not supposed to run. You're supposed to be eaten.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a little bit of kind of silliness there where, it's like a little bit improbable that they can escape, but you know, you can sort of say, well, Shaw's a trained soldier and has been in combat and all that. So maybe, you know, and they've been dealing with monsters and stuff this whole time, so they're kind of used to crazy stuff and can make their escape. But was a little silly.
We'll go with it. It's like Fay Ray surviving King Kong, you know.
Yeah. How did she not get crushed again? Yeah,
monkey like little girl.
Yeah, I think it's just she doesn't like the whole killing thing, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
She's just a kind-hearted woman, and, you know,
growing up in a fish cult.
Yeah, in the middle of a fish cult, you know.
Classic story.
Classic story. Yeah. A kind-hearted girl growing up in a fish cult.
I want to see that romantic comedy.
Well, we won't spoil anything for you, Pat, but
we're not done with fish cult girl.
Oh, I assumed she was going to be a reoccurring character.
So every time Keiko wants to talk about what's really going on between them, Lee insists. He always thinks she's talking about something else. Like I don't know if he's doing it on purpose, or, you know, if he's that obtuse, or if he's really trying to pretend like, you know, it's something else. I want to talk about, you know, what's really going on. And he's like, well, you know, they're fish cult people. And she's like, no, between us. Like he, you know, just like back in the cave, you know, she's like, do you feel that? Oh yeah, I feel, you know, something. And she's like, no, the ground, you feel the ground. Oh, that. Yeah. So it's kind of funny how they're like, he's constantly misinterpreting what she's actually trying to say. I don't know if that's on purpose. They're making him kind of dance on purpose or not. But he does insist that the kiss was the wine, or the drugs in the wine, and not real feelings. And you could tell he knows it wasn't, but he's trying to be a good friend to Billy and Keiko. Like, he's like, I know how I feel. They're my friends. I'm not going to do this.
And yet.
And yet. Well, she kind of throws herself at him, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's equally culpable.
Oh, yeah, right.
If not more so.
I mean, he could have said no, but
Yeah.
I think it was her. She started it.
She started it.
I'm like, man, with the knife wound in your side and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I just want to say, all things aside, getting into a romantic endeavor with a gut wound or a torso injury, it's just not going to work.
Not recommended.
Probably not a very clean knife. They probably.
No.
It's a fish knife.
Yes.
They killed a fish with it just before he stabbed you.
It's just not going to work.
Get some antibiotics.
Yeah.
Well, that whiskey, I'm sure, was cleaned it up, right?
Exactly.
That's how that works.
Just pour some whiskey on it. There's nothing else in there but alcohol. Movie medicine. Yep. And so then she has the brilliant idea, once they're back in Washington, D.C., to write him a letter outlining everything that happened. Because why not have physical proof of your infidelity that laying around for someone to like? And he keeps it and puts it in his footlocker for Billy to find eventually when he goes missing in Access Monday. It seems like bad ideas all around. But what is it about the letter that makes Billy react? Like, do you think Billy ran away from Hiroshi because of the letter?
Yeah,
I think it comes up again later in the season. But
yeah, I think that's part of it. And again, won't spoil anything, but there's a reason Billy is kind of also goes off. So I think it's probably some of both. Like the letter probably because I looked it up and it was 59 that Keiko disappeared. So this is 62 when Billy finds
after
the
Shaw
letter.
Was gone.
Yeah, Billy finds the letter. So yeah, I think it's both. I think it's that feels betrayed and sees. I mean, I think there's some aspect of Hiroshi, or seeing seeing Keiko and Hiroshi and feeling that betrayal just by seeing Hiroshi's face. Like, he looks like her. So I think there's some of that, but I think it's also the other thing that we won't discuss yet that kind of leads them off.
Right.
So
I think the least believable thing is that Billy becomes John Goodman. I just don't buy that later on.
A few hard years. When was Kong? What year was that in the 70s that was set?
Yeah, it was Vietnam era.
Yeah.
The Hueys.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. There was good stuff in that movie.
Yeah, that's what I want to. I want to revisit these movies after like the gaps that they're filling in with Monarch too. But
that's true.
I do highly recommend watching at least the two movies around the season.
Yeah,
because there's so much in the season itself that draws from the one before it and then pushes towards the next one.
I saw the one that happened before, but it was so long ago I don't remember it clearly, and I don't think I ever did see the one that came after this. So
yeah. You never saw Godzilla versus Kong?
No. Oh no, was there one after Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah, Godzilla X Kong.
Okay, that's the one I didn't see, because let's name them the same thing over and over again, just slight variations, so no one can remember which one is which.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the second one had 2 monkeys and 2 lizards.
Right, 2 monkeys.
And then the third one is going to be also Godzilla X Kong, but they're calling it Supernova because you have to, add a super and something sounding exploding to it to make it.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one like a Kong King of something in the under something? It's like King, like when he was the King of Access Monday or something. I remember seeing a trailer for a movie like that. I don't know. Maybe it was a fever dream, but I'll have to go look and see what all the monster ones are, because I gotta make clear which ones I've seen and which ones I haven't.
Yeah.
There was one with a mecha Godzilla, right?
That's Godzilla versus Kong.
Okay, I saw
that's
that.
That's the one where Apex. I think that's the first one we see Apex in, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So the letter, Billy runs off, roll credits. What did you guys think of any other thoughts on this episode as we wrap that up?
Yeah, so the one thing that I had in my notes that is when May goes to Apex, she finds out that Hiroshi and company are being surveilled by Apex. Which, I mean, I guess it's not a super surprise because Apex came in to take over the outpost, but but she finds that out, and then yeah, it was just very sad with the conversation with Hiroshi and Keiko when Hiroshi tells, because Keiko remembers Billy as this great man who loved Hiroshi as his father, but Hiroshi tells her that he abandoned him when he was 11, so that was just kind of more sadness there, but
right. Yeah. I mean, there's so much abandonment. Hiroshi abandoned his kids. There's just generational pain that keeps getting passed on, which is so ironic but true. There's a trueness that happens in these situations.
The generational trauma is the real legacy of Monsters, or the legacy of Monsters generational trauma.
Kinda, yeah.
Real monsters are people,
and squished people are the legacy of Monsters too. Yeah. Lots of squished people.
Yeah.
Patrick, any last thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so this episode, the end of this episode makes, I think, more sense, and maybe it'll make more and more sense as the season goes on, and we find out, why Billy left. Because I'm not buying that the letter was the only thing, but there's a conversation that happens in the first season between Shaw when he comes back from Access Monday and I don't know.
And Hiroshi,
sorry. And Hiroshi. About why Shaw basically talks him into Monarch, effectively, or to helping out. And it's this, this kind of almost fight. And, at this point, Shaw's been gone. He doesn't realize necessarily that Billy disappeared or why. And so I'm kind of interested to find out, like, how much does Shaw know at this stage? Did anybody tell him while he was in his fever dream in the, in the nursing home? But I think it makes a lot more sense of that conversation that happened in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody who, my dad left my mom and I, divorced my mom and everything, and kept in contact, but it was clear the reasons he left, and it did feel in a lot of ways like an abandonment. And I can sympathize a lot with Hiroshi for the anger.
Mm-hmm.
It was something when I finally addressed that I had to work through, and still flares up occasionally. Like, I've got a pretty good relationship with my father, but sometimes I'm like, why? What was so damn important that you had to go? So I do sympathize with that, and at the same time, it doesn't justify having a second family on the side.
Exactly.
So, but we do see this kind of playing forward, right, with the potential for May, and I think there was a lot of Cate, with a lot of potential relationship stuff that happened in season 1 that mostly went over my head when we reviewed it, but apparently it was there.
Right.
So it is kind of this. I think you're right. I think the legacy is kind of this, downstream emotional trauma.
Interesting. It will be interesting to kind of to keep that in mind as we continue through the season. That is going to be, I mean, I think it really is the legacy of Monsters is this family legacy of the Randa family as they go through this. All right. So that'll do it for our discussion, I guess. Before we go, I want to take a moment to thank our patrons who make it possible for us to create The Secrets of Television, including Philip M., Rebecca C., Tom E., Kevin B., and Ben and Autumn B. Their generous donations at GiveStarQuest.com make it possible for us to continue The Secrets of Television and all the shows at StarQuest. And you can join them by visiting GiveStarQuest.com. So that's it from us this time. We'd love to know what you think of Monarchs Season 2, Episode 3, Secrets. You can let us know by commenting on the show at sqpn.com/TV. Send an email to tv@sqpn.com. Visit the StarQuest Discord community at sqpn.com/Discord. And until next time, Patrick Mason, thank you for joining me in sharing the secrets of television.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for having me on.
And Jeff Haecker, thank you as well.
Thanks, Dom.
And once again, I'm Dom Bettinelli. Thank you for listening to The Secrets of Television on StarQuest. Here's another show on the StarQuest network you're sure to enjoy, The Catholics of Oz. Find it wherever fine podcasts are found or at sqpn.com/Oz.